Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Tuesday the 17th of March. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the actually we'll start with the pound dollar for a change as it's on the screen at the moment. And what we have today so far, yesterday, quite a decent reversal day yesterday, but still an inside bar, arguably a very big bullish army, but it's a bit out of shape. So a break of the highs here, we could see just run into yesterday's double tops. There is a possibility. I do have a slight downside target first. Oh, I say first. That is potential though at where is it? Around about 148.06 sort of area, maybe slightly lower. Could just come back down and test those sort of areas. But it has got the potential to go for yesterday's highs and also catch that weekly pivot. Now it may do that first. I mean, it could do either way. The lower target has the higher probability of the two, most likely. But both can actually be hit. So just watching for either really. For confirmation of the downside, really, we can draw a little trend line on there. From the lows there, and just play that. It's about 14 pips or so, I reckon, at least. And if it does break down beyond that, well, we'll be looking again towards yesterday's midday lows, or so, or certainly down towards the S1 area. Okay, at the moment though, trending upwards. Potential for it to run into its weekly pivot at some point. If it does, well, it's doing a funny old pattern at the moment. In the shorter time frames, it may, as I say, may just want to break these lows first and run down, but otherwise a push up to that weekly pivot is quite possible, and maybe up to the R1. Okay, it's cable US, or look at Euro. Daily perspective again, a reasonable update yesterday. Pulled off towards the end of the trading as it ran up towards its weekly pivot there. It's just sort of air kissed it, pushing up once again at the moment. It's found a bit of support. There's a potential that it could carry on this road. It's just bouncing off its 4-hourly 8, a daily pivot, etc. there. So there is a possibility it could run back up towards that weekly pivot. So it looked like it air kissed it on the bigger time frames there. It could push back towards that sort of level, maybe beyond. It's seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment, so certainly a possibility. Okay, news wise, I'm just looking. There is the German ZEW economic sentiment coming out at 10 o'clock, but we'll be surprised if that really gives much. I mean, it's generally got my expectation theory is around about 10-15 pips for that sort of news generally, although in the current situation it might move it a little bit more if it came out particularly good or bad, so may get a little bit more of a swing from it. Okay, so it's Euro, dollar, yen. Chop it's still chopping in that range there. Now I drew trend lines I think on the hourlies yesterday. It did, there we go. That sort of eventually got sort of pipped out in the morning. It broke out that quite early, didn't get into any positions on it because it's just too choppy for me. I just prefer to stay clear when it's in quite a tight range. I mean, you could play the ranges, shorting at the highs, buying at the lows. Of course, at some point, I mean, it will just probably pip you out like if you've done it on this position. It depends on the size of the position and everything else. It could just want to come down now towards that 4-hourly 50. Certainly got a possibility of coming down towards that region. May be sufficient for some support for yet another bounce, but it's when it's like this, I'm not really interested in trading it personally. Aussie dollar. Consolidation again yesterday. It just kept within the previous day's range. Inverted hammer. I can't see my 4-hour from. Here we go. A little pause helped. Okay, so that could push back towards that 4-hourly 50 again. The more times it taps it, the better chance it has of running through it, but it's not really convincing overall at the moment, the Aussie dollar. We have got news later this week. Perhaps the R1 has a reasonable chance. It's almost touched its S1 though, but it could go back up to yesterday's highs there. Now it seems to be on a bit of a run, so there's the potential for it to push up towards those sort of levels. Looking across the markets at the moment is perhaps towards a bit more upside at this juncture, towards these highs, etc. The way the markets are moving, so perhaps we could see a bit of dollar weakness today, but just need to tread very carefully and be ready to turn if the markets turn with us. Okay, just checking, no other significant news due out today, so I think we'll be once again back to technical trading, or on technical trading, listening for rumours and comments, and hopefully we'll get some decent moves as tomorrow. Okay, have a great one. Bye for now.